maybe it's time, Zoran. Yes, maybe it's time. How well can you hear me? Is this doable? Sound works, picture works. Your NTP is syncing correctly. That sounds good. Chat. Where's my chat? Oh, there it is. Now we have some chat. Let's play with the image just a little bit while people are gathering around. Filters. Let's go with crop left. Is it shrinking? Let's go with oh, that's too much. 150 maybe. Okay, right. 150. Close. Yeah, now it's stretched. I don't. 300. Somewhere here, and the camera should be about here, and then the chat should be about here. Golga Katani, good evening. Using your phone as a camera? No. My phone has a much better camera. This is just a built-in tiny camera into the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, so it's the thinnest as they come, and as a result you get the worst possible camera because it simply cannot fit any optics into such a thin frame, and that's a compromise, which is what it is. I'm playing with the frame a little bit just because. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So how do you feel? Am I live on Twitch? That's a good question. Looks like I am. Okay. It's live on Twitch as well. Good. Let me just switch the resolution of my preview so that I don't spend too much bandwidth on myself. Quality 360 is perfectly fine, and the audio is out of sync. Yeah, that shouldn't be. I mean, if it's out of sync, then it's not fixable. It is set to quick sync H.264. Yesterday we did quite a lot of playing around with it and tuning. It's a whole second out of sync. I touched nothing since yesterday when we said now it's fine. So the whole idea behind playing around with settings yesterday was so that we can start the work. I won't be too active today. There is a huge football match going in parallel. It is what it is. Guys, I think we should start, and you should focus on the text on the screen and what I'm talking about and how much my face is moving around. Maybe I'll just power down the camera so that I don't get you confused, being a little bit out of sync. Is that fine? I mean, is it better to just leave it out of sync since the camera is going to be really small in the corner and maybe you will not watch it? The other solution is to disable the camera and simply have the voice and the text from the PDF. I think that could be even better because there is no point in tweaking this further today. No camera? Okay. There is another problem. I forgot to take a second PC to watch the chat, and that could be a problem. That could be a problem, maybe. Let me see if I can do anything about that. Okay, let's go to my laptop screen so that you can see what I'm doing here. Here we're going to do the live stream, and let's go with we vote all camera. Where's the camera? Okay, camera is disabled. And let me see about where's the pop out here. Okay, and we also need Twitch. Pop out Twitch. Okay, we have two chats now, but bear with me, I really don't want to tune it more. It's just going to take too much time. The idea was to tune everything yesterday, and then I forgot the laptop, and you know, it is what it is. I even forgot the how do you call the thing that holds the microphone? So, yeah, we don't have a camera. Sorry, I was going to show you something. Nothing is really holding my microphone now except for my daughter's sneaker. So I have it in an Adidas sneaker, but it's fine. It's good enough. Okay, so can you all see chapter 6 arrays? I just stopped because I'm waiting for any response from YouTube or Twitch. Oh yes, no, is there any response? Is video buffering? Use the low latency, whatever. YouTube is having issues. Why is YouTube? Oh, dropped frames 8%. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Zoran, thank you very much for beer. Why are we having dropped frames? It worked yesterday. Let me take the phone to another room where there is more signal. Okay, I am back, and hopefully my Wi-Fi will not drop because I have taken the phone 2 hard walls away, but now the phone has better 5G receive. Okay, let's see if there are any dropped frames from now on. 1669 dropped frames and no longer dropping frames. Okay, I really hope it's fine now. Okay. Okay, click on this. Okay. Let's go. Should array indices start at 0 or 1? My compromise of 0.5 was rejected without, I thought, a proper consideration. Computer scientist. Nice one. Luckily, C has arrays. I mean, I know it's considered a low-level language, but it does at least have the concept of arrays built in. And since a great many languages drew inspiration from C syntax, you are probably familiar with using square brackets for declaring and using arrays. But C only barely has arrays, and we will find out later arrays are just syntactic sugar in C. They are actually all pointers and stuff deep down. Freak out. But for now, let's just use them as arrays. Okay, easy example over here. Let's just crank out an example. Include standard input output int main void. Should I type this out? I think I should. I actually think I should be typing this just for the sake of a little bit of the practice material over here. Array. Okay, so let's do the include. Sorry about that. stdio.h. Okay, the keyboard on this laptop is smaller than physically smaller than the keyboard on my desktop computer. This laptop is actually cramped a little bit. So when I want this sign, I sometimes hit, actually the other way around. When I want this sign, I sometimes hit this one, but it is what it is. Int main void, and let's open the squiggly over here and do the, what was the, what was the shortcut in nano for line indentation? Auto indent. Oh, it was already enabled. Sorry, I forgot we have it in configure file. Good. Int I. Okay. And float F4. Okay, so as the PDF says, we are here declaring an array of 4 of the floats. Okay, so the first float here starts with 0 and equals pi. I would say 3.14159, and when we have f, the first one equals 1.4141, and another f that equals to the now I can't see the chat, which is a bummer. That X1 carbon you want to sell? No, I have two. I have two X1 carbons. One is extra. I don't need two. They both have brand new batteries. They are both actually the one that I'm selling is thinner and lighter than the one I'm using right now, but I decided to use this one for longer term. 1.61803. Okay, F3 equals 2.71828. Maybe these numbers are totally irrelevant. I mean, which ones are they? But anyway, for loop here, I equals 0. Alrighty, I is less than 4, and add up onto I, if that's a good way to say it. Yeah. Dico che la camera camera un paio. Just a second. I have received my chat laptop by the means of a courier. Give me just a sec for me to start it up. This won't take long. Let me just boot it up, and its battery seems to be depleted, but that's fine. I actually feel that maybe I don't need a second laptop with the way that I have assembled the stream. I'm still here. Okay, the laptop is booting. Okay, we have the for loop, and let's do the printf and percentage f. What was the f? Percent for, I kind of forgot. I always tell myself that I'm going to print out bleeping YouTube commercials in a live stream. We have ads, stream settings, edit. No AI use. Where are the ads? monetization, live streams, manual, save. Okay, now I'm the one who says when is the time for an ad. Okay, sorry for clicking that. I just wanted to see what that button does. I figured it would be for an ad, but I also figured that it would ask me, "Are you sure?" or something. Now we know. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what was the percentage F in C? I keep telling myself to print out these things because I keep forgetting them. Can someone please remind me what the percentage F is so that I don't need to Google it just now? It feels like it's float. I mean F for float, maybe. N, another F of the I, close it, close it, close it, close it. Golga Katanis also says float. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, int main void, nothing particular going on here. Integer I, float F, 4 of them in an array. First one, second one, third one, fourth one. For I equals 0, as long as I is less than 4, we boost I by 1, and then we print this particular float, and we choose the F, and we choose the part in the array, which is the first one, the second one, the third one, or the fourth one, by the means of using another variable which is spinning around and increasing in every for loop transition. So there is nothing really going on here. It's all very clear. It's simply going to print out these 4 values. And to prove this, let's go with G, which is my alias for GCC, with W all, W extras, and pedantic. What was the title of the file? Array, maybe it's C. Okay, sorry, it's C. A dot out. Okay, very much expected result. All good and clear so far. So let's go ahead. When you declare an array, you have to give it a size, and the size has to be fixed. Again, not really, but variable length arrays, of which I am not really a fan, says the book author, are story for another time. Taburetka, welcome into the stream. We are playing around with C programming language. Please write in the chat whatever you feel could contribute to the lesson at hand. We are at the 5th stream so far, so not that deep. We just went through the pointers, you know, the last week. So actually 2 weeks ago. Is this K and R book? No, this is let me show you. It's this one. The reason why we are not using K and R book is a couple of them. The first one, that book is licensed and I'm not exactly allowed to show it on stream. But then again, I emailed Mr. Brian Kernigan, and he's the only one remaining alive from the two of them. And he replied to me like, yeah, like, feel free to use my book, but you need to contact the publisher of the book first. And in the meantime, we found this book, which is actually really good. And although K and R book is the Bible of the C programming language, and I absolutely think it should be used, this book goes quite a lot of way to explain a lot of things into detail, and it also touches quite a lot on C23 standard, which of course K and R book does not. So I'm not saying this book is better. I'm just saying it's really good for this particular live stream, and that's the thing that we are using. This one that we are using right now is completely free. You can literally just download it from Beej's website, B-E-E-J. Beej's guide. Alrighty. When you declare an array, you have to give it a size, and the size has to be fixed. In the above example, let me zoom in a little bit. In the above example, we made an array of 4 floats. The value in the square brackets in the declaration lets us know that. By the way, Taburetka, I'm not really the teacher here. We are kind of going through the book together, and I'm more like learning than teaching. I'm just giving you a heads up if you notice how I kind of teach myself by reading out loud. But it's all good. We talk a lot among each other while the stream is going on. Later on, in subsequent lines, we access the values in the array, setting them or getting them, again with square brackets. Hopefully this looks familiar from languages you already know. So this is what the book is talking about. Let me just fetch a little bit of water. Give me a sec. Iceblade, hello again. Iceblade, did you just tune in right now? Krang J9C says, oh my god, this came at the perfect moment. I also am trying to learn C more than anything right now. Good timing by the algorithms part. So did you just start? Krang, we started 15 minutes ago, but this is lesson number 5, and you can fetch video on demands on the previous 4 lessons on the playlist on my YouTube channels. We already passed through Hello World, variables, functions, and pointers, so we are now at arrays. Iceblade says, no, I was here before the start and said I was gonna be late. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't catch that. I was preparing at that moment. Okie dokie, getting the length of array. You can't C doesn't record this information. You have to manage it separately in another variable. When we say that we cannot get the length of the array, the book author actually means that there are some circumstances where we can. There is a trick to get the number of elements in an array in the scope in which an array is declared. But generally speaking, this won't work the way you want if you pass the array to a function. Just for a second, Taburetka. Yeah, okay, good. I think the format of this live stream is just as much good for myself as you guys. If you feel like you need some kind of a refresher or you're starting from scratch like I am, we do plenty of stops and we do not rush. That's the thing that you're going to take away from this stream. We don't rush it. We are not in a hurry to finish as fast as possible. We are here to understand what's going on. Okay, let's take a look at this trick. The basic idea is that you take the size of the array and then divide that by the size of each element to get the length. For example, if an integer int is 4 bytes and the array is 32 bytes long, there must be room for 32 divided by 4 or 8 integers in there. I'm switching to chat for a second. I did a little C like a year ago and remember like nothing. Man, this is very well. We start all together. Yes. Meme or meme. Yo, not Python. Okay, we will not do Python. Okay. Guys, mind you, on my channel there aren't any language wars. The only reason why I'm doing C is because I want to. Okay, that's the only reason. Yes. Okay. Once again, the basic idea is that you take the size of the array and then divide that by the size of each element to get the length. For example, integer is 4 bytes and the array is 32 bytes, so there must be rooms for 8 integers. Okay, so we should take advantage of the command line here. Okay, let's do the sizeof. Okay, this is another sizeof. Let's kill everything. Actually, no. Let's kill everything inside. Okay, so this is some kind of a previous example that we have been doing. We're just going to use the few lines that we have in here. Int x is 12. So basically this is an array of 12 of the arrays in the x variable. Okay, 12 integers in there. And now we are going to print f. Are you using Git? Is there a repo for this? I'm actually not. But does it really matter? Let me stop for a moment here. Does it matter, guys, that I should put these little exercises on Git? Would that make any sense? I mean, my initial idea was for everyone to type and practice on their own, because the idea is to have your fingers do some of the C muscle memory. But if you think it makes sense for me to upload this to Git, I will do that after the stream. Is this Linux architecture, or what do you mean? Let's do the size of 2. Size of 2, okay. Arch Linux is a distro, of course it is, but it can also be architecture, depending on what the original author meant. Look, I think it's better if you type everything on your own, but it's really no trouble for me to upload this to Git after the stream. And I will publish the Git address in the stream, in the video on demand description, and also on the forum. Okay. On the forum, you will see the links to these exercises, and we can chat over there after the stream about the lesson that has passed. Okay. What distro do I use? Debian. I am on Debian. Okay, where were we? My laptop is kind of burning. Let me switch power profile to medium and see if that cools it down a little bit. No frame drops. Okay, let me know if you see any frame drops now that I have slowed down my CPU. I mean, I changed the power profile. My laptop is kind of getting hot, and the temperature here where I am is quite hot as well, so poor laptop. How did you build that website? You mean the forum? On Twitch, WP test 141. What desktop environment do you use? That's KDE. I'm just switching desktops with my with shortcuts, but it's KDE. You like a Debian 2 font extra 08Y? Yeah, I like Debian because it doesn't change. I like how predictable it is, and it doesn't really change. And it's the whole reasoning is it works the same today as it did yesterday. I really appreciate that in most of the cases. How did you build that website? That's a forum software called Discourse. Anyways, let's go ahead. There's quite a lot of chat going on, and that will slow us down. Printf. Okay. Percentage zoo. New line here, and Iceblade, maybe you can help a little bit in answering questions for the new people, because I really shouldn't watch at the chat all of the time. But then again, I would like to answer questions as much as I can. Size of X. Okay, let's close this one and see that we do not make any mistakes here. So we are getting size of the X variable here. Why don't you use window managers if KDE is using more resources? It's not KDE that's using more resources right now, but the fact that I am live streaming from OBS and encoding to Twitch and YouTube. I'm literally streaming twice with a really thin and light ultrabook. So it's not really built for being a workhorse, but it's chugging quite good. I mean, it's working fine, it's just a little bit hot. Okay, let's print another one. Print F percentage zoo new line with that as well, and size of integer. Okay, for the new guys, do you understand which exactly size of am I fetching here? This is something that we did on the previous lessons. So if you haven't been on the previous lessons, then there is a good chance that you will not catch what's going on over here. So if anyone knows what this is, except for Iceblade and Zoran, I know that they do know. But the question for new guys, do you understand how we are getting the size of the, what is this? Meme and Taburetka and Gato Potato, welcome in, and everyone else. Can you please focus a little bit more on programming and leave Linux distributions for the end of the stream? If you want, I can argue with you until we reach some blood, you know, if that's fine with you. We can argue, but first things first. If you don't really care about what's going on here, I'm just going to explain it for other people on video on demand. And go ahead. Gato Potato knows the answer. Okay, what about others? I'm literally stopping because I want everyone to have a fair chance of understanding where we stopped. Okay, these guys are going to continue about dot files. So anyways, we are getting the size of the integer on the system on which we are compiling our program. So if we are using 64-bit system, it's simply going to fetch number 4 as 4 bytes for the integer. If it's a completely different system, it's going to fetch another number, but we need this number in order to get some division as a result of our calculation. Zoran Mostarlich says just carry on. Okie dokie, let's do the print f another percentage zu new line close quotes comma size of x divided by size of, did I do it? Size of int, close another one, and we are basically finished here. Okay, let's compile this one. That was size of 2. That's compiled, and we have literally printed. Actually, let me cut and run it again. Okay, so the first print was to fetch the size of x, which turned out to be 48, and then we fetch the size of integer, which is 4, and then we divided this, we got 12. So basically, as the book explained, it's 12 integers. Krang says why percentage zoo. Krang sizeof is sorry, I'm reading everything. Iceblade says sizeof is a size t which can show how much space in memory it takes. Percentage zoo because the size of returns byte value and which you can only reference using percentage zoo. Gato Potato is a little bit more advanced here. Thank you very much for participating, Gato Potato. Taburetka says sizeof is an operator that returns size of variable type in size t. Percentage zoo is a specifier for size t. Okay, it's like why we use percentage d for integer. Yes, because percentage d stand for decimal number. We are fetching decimal number out of integer. Yes, so we definitely want to have the correct system in place to get from what we are fetching after the comma. Let me just fetch a little bit of water for myself. Be right back. I'm not logged into Twitch. Anyways, I have linked to you the PDF that we are reading right now. It's free. You can just download it and use it. Omed Smart, welcome in and hello. Iceblade says, I do hate the definition of percentage d. I always read it like d for digits and not decimal. I mean, fine. Taburetka says you should try using Vim instead of Nano. It's really good text editor. I agree, Taburetka, but right now I don't really feel like I already tried to explain this, but the Nano is kind of a quick editor that I use when I don't think about what I'm using. It's just for small text editing. When we reach a little bit of more of the code, I'll switch to Vim or Emacs. But in the meantime, Nano is, you know, it can do auto indent, it can do row numbers, line numbers, it can do syntax highlighting, and for the basics that we are doing right now, it really doesn't matter. But I can assure you I'll switch to a better one when we basically when I will need more features. Okay, that's about it for now. Seriously, if I was on Windows or something like that, I would probably be using Notepad or something for these basic things. But I'm not a Windows user, so let's stay where we are. Okay, if it's an array of chars, sorry, I'm not that good at English, but if it's an array of chars, then size of the array is the number of elements. since size of char is defined to be 1, okay, so char 1 byte. For anything else, you have to divide by the size of each element. But this trick only works in the scope in which the array was defined. If you pass the array to a function, it doesn't work. Even if you make it big in the function signature. Okay, we have void. Why does it start with void foo? This is just an. I suppose we don't need to type this one because it won't work. But what this is trying to explain, void foo integer x is 12. Let's read it one more time. If it's an array of chars, then size of the array is the number of elements, since size of char is defined to be 1. For anything else, you have to divide by the size of each element. But this trick only works in the scope in which the array was defined. If you pass the array to a function, pass the array to a function, it doesn't work even if you make it big in the function signature. Okay. Why does it turn out 8? We are getting size of x. Size of x turns out to be 8. This is because when you pass arrays to a function, you are only passing a pointer to the first element. Okay, so this is kind of goated to understand how we got there. You're passing a pointer. Let me see what or who that was. Oh shit, I didn't catch it. Almighty, I think someone subscribed. The new guy, no? I don't know, someone subscribed, I think. Thank you very much. Taburetka says also you can download manuals for C for man command, and then you look up any C function with man command. It is really good for learning. Yes, I definitely agree. If you're learning I was going to say basics of C, but it's not really about basics. It's always very handy with the book. And even if you, sorry, I didn't really want to click that. Even if you don't read the book, but you're actually doing legit programming, you will often want to consult the manual, which will tell you about the syntax and which includes are necessary and things like that. So man command on Linux is awesome for that. Definitely install man pages on your Linux distribution and use man to see how sizeof works. Adios Playfair, I do want to follow your C walkthrough. Please summarize the concept map covered so far. Let me show you. What was your name? Sorry, Adios Playfair. Let me show you just a little bit how it looks like so far. Okay, go to my forum, go to topic called Learn C with me, and here you have some old lessons from the previous book, and then you have Learn C with me lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, and today it will be 5. So let's say I don't know, let's say basic variables. Okay, so here is the link to the video on demand, and here you will see what we have been doing. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so it's really readable. We take a closer look at how the C program actually works. We cover the anatomy, function calls, this is all of the things that we have passed inside this lesson, which you will see in the video on demand. Everything that is written in this topic is contained within that VOD. Okay, we stop just before the flow control. Okay, and then we go back, and then you go to functions, and in functions actually that was what I just clicked on. Okay, the next one was pointers. Okay, so we start how variables are stored in the memory, blah blah blah. Memory addresses, memory storage, NDNS. What pointer actually is. Along the way, we experiment with code ourselves and spend some time trying to build intuitive understanding of what pointers actually mean. So there was a lot of playing with pointers during this video on demand, and you can read on your own time the remainder of what was in that stream. So just for the sake of copy paste, you can check it out on my forum. You can register. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want, you can participate. I have built that forum so that we can talk together about Linux, about programming for Linux and stuff like that, you know. Great going with the forum and all the setup. Thanks, Beej. And the community in C is challenged by the Rust and memory safety community till we bounce back. Personally, I really like C, and I really want to learn that one. It's not that I have anything, how to put it, it's just that I don't care, you know. I want to learn this one, and I don't feel like quote unquote fighting back. It's more like if I'm going to contribute something back to the open source and free software community, I want it to be built in pure C programming language. C feels like home. I think so. Okay, this is okay. So why did we get 8 here and not 48? You are only passing a pointer to the first element, and that's what sizeof measures, the first element. More on this in the passing single dimensional arrays to functions section below. One more thing you can do with sizeof and arrays is get the size of an array of a fixed number of elements without declaring the array. This is like how you can get the size of an integer with size of int. For example, to see how many bytes would be needed for an array of 48 doubles, you can do this, size of double 48. And why do you want to measure this? Just, I know that half of you know the answer, but just humor me. Why do we want to measure this, and why don't we know it already in advance? Rootlex is asking how is it going, and for example, to allocate memory for it. I was hoping someone less knowledgeable would answer that, but yes. Okay, we stopped at array initializers. Actually, Iceblade, I am pretty confident that double is not the same on 64-bit system as it is on, I don't know, 16-bit system. I'm actually not sure about 32-bit, but I am very confident that it's of different length between 64-bit and 16-bit systems, but I would need to double check for 32-bit. But that doesn't matter. What matters is when you need memory for it, you would allocate it this way, and it really doesn't matter how big it is. XGUI4 Studio is asking, do 16-bit CPU even support double? Well, if they have a floating point, like a math coprocessor, I'm pretty sure they do. I mean, they could, not all of them. For example, 16-bit Motorola 86, no, 68,000. That one doesn't have floats at all. But 68,060, I think that one does. And both of them are of the same Motorola 68K family. Both of them are 16-bit. So it depends. I think the answer is it depends. Yeah, floating point unit. There are some CPUs. For example, when you take a Macintosh computer, one of the first ones with Motorola CPU, I think that one didn't have a floating point unit like a math coprocessor, and also Amiga computers, Amiga 1200 didn't have it installed, and something like that. Okay, array initializers. You can initialize an array with constants ahead of time. Let's read these. Since arrays are just pointers to the first element of the array under the hood, there is no additional information recording the length. Because when you pass an array to a function, you are actually just passing a pointer to the first element of that array, not the entire array. Okay, that's due to what we have read above. But let's go back to you can initialize an array with constants ahead of time. So this is going to need some typing over here. I love typing. Okay. Okay, let's do the what's the name of the exercises? An array initializes. Okay. Guys, include stdio.h. Some of you are going to freak out for me using nano. I can't help it for now. Main void, and let's not go to the new line. I don't like doing that. Int I, new line, int a, 5 integer values of the A as an array equals 22, 37, 3,490, 18, 95, close it, finish it. Then we have for loop that starts with I is 0. Crap, me and my keyboards. I is less than 5. That's how long we are going to spin it. I plus plus, increasing the number. Okay. Print f, this is all that this for loop is going to do. It's going to print percentage d for decimal. Let's go to the new line here, close the quotes, and we are printing what? We are printing variable a with the position of I, and close it. Okay, we need a bracket here, close it again. Yeah, this editor is less than ideal, but it is what it is. Okay, so I think this is pretty clear what's going on here. We initialize, we have the I variable, we have the A variable as an array of 5 pieces in a row. It's filled up. It's going to start with first position, and we are going to stop just before the 5th one, and we're simply going to print out these numbers. Okay, so let's compile, initialize a. Okay, so that's pretty much expected. Okie dokie. You should never have more items in your initializer than there is room for in the array, or the compiler will get cranky. One, two, three, four, five. Am I missing something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the author is trying to tell me to add another one just for shits and giggles. Okay, no room for this one. In the chat, I am a dropout and pursuing again, maybe graduating at 30 on 2030. Meme IT professional, still curious and still learning. Taburetka, chat, how are you all learning C? Also books or YouTube tutorials. Meme, y'all, another plane, hope I become one too. Meme, me for, what do you mean on another plane? Are you referring to where we currently are with programming, or the fact that guys in chat are talking about distributions and window managers and whatnot? Iceblade, I used boot.dev for programming. Okay, I don't know that one. Sorry, Rootlex, I just saw what you wrote below. There's a function called malloc. It expects a size of memory block to allocate. That's where you would use it. Okay, I'm pretty sure we are going to get to that sooner or later. Me for, I understand what you meant by another plane, but what I didn't understand, what I asked you actually, I'm asking you Which topic do you mean? Do you mean they are on another plane about programming, or what about? Because if you want me, I can slow down at some points where you feel like you're not catching up. Programming, yeah. But I mean, I don't want to push you to watch my video on demand if you don't want to, but I really think we did a great job with previous sessions, and you can simply go to the playlist on my videos, right? You go to my channel here and go to playlists and go to C programming, yeah. Go to C programming and you will see the playlist here. So feel free to ignore the old episodes. These were the attempt with a more difficult book, and that's why we stopped using that book and restarted with a different book. So the new ones are called Learn C with Me 1, 2, 3, 4, and the number 5 is currently live. I will put the title and the description after the stream, because we're never 100% sure what exactly will how far we will come, right? So I just summarize the stream after the stream is finished. But you should take a look at this, even if you watch it on 2x of the speed. I don't know. Ideos Playfair, Beej, please throw us your life history so we know it's never too late to start C. I think I could email Beej and show him what we are doing, just to reach out and see if he will have any comments on this. That could be fun, actually. Okie dokie. Fun fact, you can have fewer items in your initializer than there is room for in the array. The remaining elements in the array will be automatically initialized with 0. This is true in general for all types of array initializers. If you have an initializer, anything not explicitly set to a value will be set to 0. Okay, so I don't believe that we need to type this out, because we have done this exact example on one of the previous video on demands. So basically, the first part of the array, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one, and the fifth one will be filled with zeros. But also, if you put, like in this place here, if you put 3 commas in a row here, what is going to happen? It will happen that we will initialize 22, 37, 0, 0, and the fifth one will be 3490. Okay, so if you put more commas here, it will understand that these are places that need to be filled up with zeros. If you're in a different time zone, we have started like an hour ago, and next Sunday we will start at the same time, whatever the time was an hour ago for you. But also I will announce it as a upcoming live stream on my channel, so you will see it on YouTube in your time zone. Okie dokie. It is a common shortcut to see this in an initializer where you want to set an entire array to 0. Okay. This is not something that we can really practice right now. It's just worth remembering that you can do this to initialize the entire array to 0. It's not, I think it would be easier to understand that this is not initializing every element of the array to this number here. It's just that we are setting the first one to 0, and since the fact is that we did not declare the rest of the 99 pieces of the array, then the others that remain will be simply set to 0. That's kind of obvious, but if it wasn't, I think it made sense to mention it. Okay, so the book says, which means make the first element 0 and then automatically make the rest 0 as well. You can set specific array elements in the initializer as well by specifying an index for the value. When you do this, C will happily keep initializing subsequent values for you until the initializer runs out, filling everything else with zeros. In order to do this, put the index in square brackets with an equal. Zoran, thank you very much for resubscribing. I love your yellow hat. In order to do this, I mean not resubscribing, but rejoining the channel. Anyways, in order to do this, put the index in square brackets with an equal after, and then set the value. Here is an example where we build an array of 10 places. So the first place, the second place, the third place, the fifth place. Okay, so the fourth one will be set to 0. And if you check the result, because we listed index 5 as the start for 55, the resulting data in the array is 0. Okay, 0. And then the second one, 11, 11, 22, 22. Position, okay, so this was position number 0. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. Position 3 and 4 have been filled up with zeros because we didn't define them, but we did define the fifth one to be 55, and the next one in the row is defined as 66, 77, but we still have 2 more to fill up, so these will be zeros. Zoran says this was my beer budget for this month. Thank you very much. Zoran is like the king of this live stream today, already with 2 donations. I wasn't quite following how much, but it's like good for 2 really good beers. And then he says, you can put simple constant expressions in there as well. Define count 5. Integer a count equals count minus 3 equals 3, 2, 1. So what is going on here? Let's read the explanation. Icebet says, good, skip that beer, stays sober and program. Iceblade, I am going to not drink the beer while on stream. I'm drinking water, but what is going to happen after the stream? Well, I'm gonna let you know on Matrix Room. Okay, so why did this code give us 0, 0, 3, 2, 1? What happened here? Let me try to decode this. If you have an idea what's going on here, type in chat. Defined count is 5, so we are initializing. Okay, so the fifth place. Oh, the count is 5. Int a count is 5 places. Okay, so this is an array of 5. And we are starting with the 5 minus 3. So that is the second position equals 3. That is the second position that equals 3. And then we have the rest, which are 2 and 1. But since we started with the second position, the first one and the 0, 1 have been filled up. Okay, so that was pretty easy to understand. Lastly, you can also have C compute the size of the array from the initializer just by leaving the size off. Let's see how that works out. Integer A is an array of 3, and we fill them up with a couple of values. I'm reading the chat for a moment. Iceblade says -3 loops around to the end of the array, if I remember correctly. I sincerely doubt that you remember correctly, because as far as I can say, count here is replaced by the number 5, and this is plain math that says 5 minus 3 equals 2. So this is number 2 in the square brackets. So position number 2, which has been gotten by plain math, position number 2 equals number 3 as a value. So this is position number 2. Yeah. Lastly, you can also have C compute the size of the array from the initializer just by leaving the size off. So we have already put 3 values into this array that can hold 3 values. So this is the same as int a as an array without telling it how big it is going to be, and simply by putting the content in the array. But in this way, naturally, you cannot leave out places and expect C to magically guess how many zeros you will like it to fill up for you. So in this case, you have to fill up all of the places in order for the initializer to understand that this is an array of 3. This was pretty easy. Now we are at lesson 6.4, out of bounds. And then we have multidimensional arrays, and then we have arrays and pointers, which is a big one. I am pretty sure that arrays and pointers we are going to leave for the next Sunday. But let's see how we go with out of bounds and multidimensional arrays, and let's see how we feel after that. I'm just giving you a heads up where we are in the lesson for today, and what is the chance that we are going to stay late in the night or drop out a little bit earlier and rest our brains. Okay, let me fetch some water. Okay, I am good, but my chat is broken. Oh, my YouTube chat is back. Test. I'm pretty sure you have seen that my chat died for a second. There are no dropped frames. Who did that? Makumar just subscribed. Thanks a lot, Makumar. It works. Yeah, Iceblade, it works. It was something on my end. Browser didn't refresh or something. Okay. C doesn't stop you from accessing arrays out of bounds. It might not even warn you. Arlie SG25, welcome in. I don't remember seeing your name in chat, so that's why I'm saying welcome in. Welcome to the stream. Let's steal the example from above and keep printing off the end of the array. It only has 5 elements, but let's try to print 10 and see what happens. Was it this example? Int I, int a equals 5, yes, for e equals 0, and loop the for loop until 10, and the rest remains the same. C initialize, oh, sorry, this was too much for the array. Compile it again. Okay, Taburetka, you can find a link to the Matrix channels in the description of this live stream. We don't have Discord because it didn't quite fit the it doesn't quite fit our free software religion, to be honest. What is a matrix channel? It looks, let me show you. It looks pretty similar to Discord. Okay, so on the left side, let me zoom in a little bit. On the left side, you have something that you would call like servers on Discord, but on Matrix, this is called oh, okay. On Matrix, this is called spaces. Okay, I get stuck for a second. This is called like spaces. Spaces are like servers on Discord, but not really, because spaces are more like just bookmarks for multiple rooms. Okay, so we have general, we have Linux, we have something that moderators talk about. I didn't really want to show that, but it is what it is. We have some off topic going on. So if you go to general, you can see people chatting right now. Iceblade is typing on Matrix. Matrix is synced to LooseTube. It's not synced. Heard Renaissance. It's just that I'm streaming my screen. Yeah. Basically, that's what it looks like. You can see the members on the right side. Currently 123 members in this room, and let me zoom that out. That's all there is to it. You need an application for accessing Matrix chat. You can go to the matrix chat clients. Okay, you go to matrix chat clients. Element web is the in-house, like the original product from the original matrix programmers, and this one really looks like Discord. So I would suggest you download this one. It works on all operating systems on the computer. I am personally using where is NeoChat? There it is. I'm using NeoChat. That one fits more like for KDE users. Neko is also a better fit for KDE users, also good. Another one fantastic is Fractal. The only problem with Fractal is that it doesn't support spaces, so you have to manually join all three rooms. But other than that, it's a perfect matrix client for GNOME users. I mean, it works under any desktop environment, but it's written in GTK4, so visually it fits GNOME a little bit more. But other than that, you can pick any client you want, but all in all, Element Desktop will be the best first experience, if that makes sense. Okay. Do you have to sign up for Matrix? Yes, you do. But Matrix is decentralized and there are many servers. You don't have to subscribe to the main server. You can subscribe to any server that has open registrations, and every member of every server can participate in the same room. So I really don't want to go deeper into this on this particular stream, but I don't know, ask me somewhere and I will explain more. Don't you think AI will replace programmers? Most programmers maybe, but the highest skilled ones probably not. At least not for some time, because highest skilled ones have, maybe I can simplify it, they have imagination, which AI doesn't. So I think some more advanced humans will still be able to find solutions for problems where AI will only be able to work on the existing training data set. So if you're trying to solve a brand new problem, there is a very high chance that AI will not be able to solve it, simply because this new problem was not solved so far, and AI doesn't have any data set to understand it from. And that's where you will need humans to find solutions for these new problems, if you understand what I mean. So in some ways, yes, the low-skilled programmers like me, which, I'm a beginner, I am already obsolete in the beginning. But personally, I'm doing this for fun, and I really want to learn to program. So how far will I get? It doesn't matter that much. I want to train my gray cells in my brain. I want to learn. I want to improve. and AI cannot steal that fun from me. I have a different job, so we are where we are. What about the embedded systems field? Does it secure future-proof careers? To be honest, I'm actually most interested in programming for embedded systems and very low and close to hardware programming. So that is another reason why I'm interested in C. So I don't know. I really don't know if AI is good for this or not, because the applications where you really need very low level embedded programming is when you're making some kind of automated system in the jet, in a fighter jet, in I don't know, automated missile for literally for war, or a helicopter, or I'm talking about embedded systems which need to function 100% accurately, consistently, and which have zero room for any errors. And AI makes errors. So do you think that some kind of a company like Lufthansa or Boeing will give AI to program their specific systems, their embedded systems in their passenger jets, and risk this plane crashing down because they didn't have enough money to pay humans? This is simply my perspective. Don't get me as I'm not a benchmark, but this is just how I think. And if I was one of these kinds of companies, I really wouldn't give this job to AI. There is room for AI to find potential bugs that human maybe have had made, but I wouldn't give AI to code the entire system to the point where no humans know what is going on in the code. I have really done my best to give you my opinion on this. C doesn't stop you for accessing arrays out of bounds. I will give you my backstory if you remind me after the stream. Ideos Playfair. I think we will stop after multidimensional arrays. So just remind me and I will talk about it. But really, let's not stop right now. C doesn't stop you from accessing arrays out of bounds. It might not even warn you. Let's steal the example from above and keep printing off the end of the array. It only has 5 elements, okay? It only has 5 elements which are defined here. And let's try to print 10 of these elements. Okay, we have already done the code. Before we had a little bit of a chat. And we printed the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and then something really weird happened. And the weird thing is not the same weird thing as on the computer of the book author. And without reading the explanation in the book, Who already understands what is this? Who can tell me what this is? I have a pretty good idea which data this is, but I'm just giving you an opportunity to whoever feels like typing in chat. Golga Katani, feel free to type the reply. Iceblade also knows. Arlie also knows. Okay, good. Yeah, so in my opinion, and this will probably confirm everyone else's, in my opinion, the code initialize data taburetka. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but look, we have an array. We have an array here, and we are printing the first element, the second element, the third one, fourth one, fifth one, and then we are printing the sixth one. But we're getting some random appearing data. In my opinion, this is the length of the first element in the array, and it's fixed size, right? It's fixed size, fixed size, fixed size, fixed size. And if we would continue printing if we would continue printing the memory that just happens to be here after the fifth element, we have some kind of a 0 here and the 0 and the 7 and some big number. I think this is not a random memory. I think this is the memory that literally comes after this memory. Uninitialized memory. I don't know. Let's run it again. Actually, you guys may be right. You guys may be right. This does feels a little bit random. Okay, my opinion was that this comes after this in the RAM position, but apparently not. Okay, so let's see what the book says. Well, turns out printing off the end of an array results in what C developers called undefined behavior. We will talk more about this beast later, but for now it means you have done something bad and anything could happen during your program run. And by anything, I mean typically things like finding zeros, finding garbage numbers, or crashing. But really, the C spec says that this circumstance, the compiler is allowed to emit code that does anything. In the good old MS-DOS days, before memory protection was a thing, the book author was writing some particularly abusive C code that deliberately engaged in all kinds of undefined behavior. But the book author knew what he was doing and things were working pretty well until he made a misstep that caused a lockup and he found himself upon a reboot. Nuked all my BIOS settings. That was fun. Shout out to man for those fun times. How did you compile this without an error? Apparently, this compile is just fine. Look, this was initialize.c, right? Cat initialize.c. You can see that this is this program. GCC dash v extra v all v pedantic. I suppose you all know what this means, and we will take initialize.c And voila, there is no error from the compiler. It's fine. As far as the compiler is concerned, this is okay. Okay, short version of the explanation. Don't do anything that causes undefined behavior, ever. There are a lot of things that cause undefined behavior, not just out of bounds array access. This is what makes the C language so exciting. Okay, this will be the last lesson for today, I think. Compiler did not check the for loop. My brain hurts. What is the name of the other compiler? LLVM. Sorry guys, please remind me. I'm stuck. The Apple's popular compiler. Slang, yes, Slang. The extra, the all, the pedantic, initialize. Oh, we don't have it. Slang 22. No warnings from this compiler as well. So there we go. No warnings with W error either. XGUI 4. How many flags do you want? Let's do this. Let's go duck AI if it loads. It loads. Okay. English. Okay. So the AI thinks reading 10 elements from an array declared with only 5 elements is undefined behavior. Okay, the compiler is allowed to compile this because undefined behavior is not necessarily a constraint violation. The C language does not require the compiler to diagnose every possible source of undefined behavior. There are several reasons a warning may not appear. The loop bound may come from a variable, so the compiler cannot easily prove it is invalid. The array might be accessed through a pointer, making bounds difficult or impossible to track. C traditionally provides little runtime bounds information for ordinary arrays. The compiler may prioritize compatibility and avoid warning that could produce false positives. Some warnings are enabled only at higher optimization levels. So someone in chat asked, are there no array flags? So there seems to be something. W array dash bounds. Let's try that one. Oh, sorry. I pasted something that I didn't really want. GCC W array dash bounds. Nope, it's still okay. For runtime detection, use address sanitizer. Still no problem. Oh, but we have a different output now. Partially addressable. Why did we get 6 and 7 here? That's weird. In short, there is no error because you can use it in some cases, Iceblade says. Well, contradictory. The book says don't do anything that causes undefined behavior. Yeah, so sorry if I misunderstand the chat, because when I'm reading my screen, I can't catch all the chat. Okay. Let's do this one. Multidimensional arrays. You can add as many dimensions as you want to your arrays. Int A, 10 of them. Int B, 2 and 7. Int C, 4, 5, and 6. These are stored in memory in row major order. Okay, let's read this. Let's read this because why not? Row major order. Okay, so basically horizontally. In computing, row major order and column major order are methods for storing multidimensional arrays in linear storage such as random access memory. The difference between the orders lies in which elements of an array are contiguous in memory. In row major order, the consecutive elements of a row reside next to each other, whereas the same holds true for consecutive elements of a column in column major order. While the terms allude to the rows and columns of a two-dimensional array, example matrix, the orders can be generalized to arrays of any dimension by noting that the terms row major and column major are equivalent to lexicographic and co-lexicographic orders. Okay, so we are now recursively going to read a lot of manuals. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to do that. Matrices being commonly represented as collections of row or column vectors using this approach are effectively stored as consecutive vectors or consecutive vector components. Am I talking gibberish? Because I think I am. Take it for homework to read about what lexicographics and co-lexicographic orders are, but for now, let's just say that row major order is not what column major order is, and let's just keep it at that so that we can continue with programming until we understand deeper. These are stored in memory in row major order. This means with a 2D array, the first index listed indicates the row and the second the column. Now I'm confused. This means with a two-dimensional array, the first index listed is row and the second is column. But what if it's three dimensions? You can also use initializers on multidimensional arrays by nesting them. Okay, let's not nest them right away until I'm clear about what does this dude mean. The first index listed is the row and the second is the column, but if there's three of them, then what is the third one? Guys, help me out. Arlie, help me out. SG25. I think like PC or game X, Y, Z. Coordinates. Yeah, but humans tend to think in 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions, not 4. What if we have 4 dimensions? You know? You can add as many dimensions as you want. What is my question? My question is XGUI is saying PC XY can be time or weight or arbitrary thing. My question was, the book says in a two-dimensional array, which should be B, right? This one is two-dimensional. The first index listed is the row and the second one is the column. Is that correct? Am I right? Let's do this again. Two rows, 7 columns. Okay, this one declares a 4-dimensional array. Read it from left to right. two groups. Each group contains 7 elements. Each of those contains 4 elements. Each of those contains 8 integers. The valid indexes are these. Every index has its own valid range. Okay, technically C interprets this as nested arrays. So the declaration could be described as array of 2 arrays of 7 arrays of 4 arrays of 8 integer. To complete, type is equivalent to this, and its total memory usage is this. If an int is 4 bytes on your system, this would use this much. The elements are stored contiguously with the last dimension changing fastest. Okay, this actually makes sense to me. Conceptually, the order begins like this. Okay, for nested iteration, okay, I will not read this in detail. And an index outside any corresponding range accesses outside the array and causes undefined behavior. Okay, so basically what it comes down to, this is like a key takeaway for a 4-dimensional array. You read it from left to right. Two groups, if int b is 2, 7, 4, 8 in square brackets each number, then read it from left to right. Two groups, each group contains 7 elements. Each of these contains 4 elements, and each of these contains 8 integers. So I don't think we should look at it as dimensions in physics, because it will create a kernel panic in our brains. But this is this is fairly easy to read. These are stored in memory in row major order. Okay, we read that already. You can also use initializers on multidimensional arrays by nesting them. Include stdio.h int main void. Okay, int row column. Let's do that. Nano multidimension fortress.c. I'm just joking, but include stdio.h, and we have int main void, so this one returns nothing. Int row column, and let's close this one. Integer a is a 2-dimensional array of 2 rows and 5 columns that equals, and now we will define it as 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, comma, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we really should close the curly brace and this, and now 4 row equals 0, and row is not yet 2. That's where we will stop before we reach a row equals 2, and increase the row counter here. Let's go with another for loop inside the for loop, because why not? And then we have a column equals 0, and then column is less than 5. Less than 5, good. And column plus plus, increase the counter, close it, open the squiggly brace, and finally let's print out something out of this, and that something will be in the bracket percentage decimal and another decimal. Okay, 2 decimals are being printed in a row, and those equal percentage decimal, the third one, and new line here, close the quotes. Is this fine? I think it is. Okay, and then we have row. Okay, we will need to move this out of the way for a second. Row column A of the row and column, and close this one, close this one, close this one as well, close this one as well, close this one as well. I moved it wrongly. Okay, now it's fine. So let me move this back here, increase it a little bit so we can see it better, everyone. Okay, what happened here? We initialized A in 2 dimensions, 2 rows, 5 columns. So we are filling the first one with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the first row. Okay, 5 columns, 1 column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column in the first row. In the second row, once again we have 5 of the columns, so these are 10 entries in total. That's pretty easy to digest so far. Then we have a for loop which starts by running a loop on a row, and then it runs another for loop on the column, and it will run for loop on the column until it reaches 5, and then it will be finished by doing this. Okay, and when the for loop on the column, because this is the inside one, when this one is finished until 5, then this one will trigger for the second time, because it's still not finished. This one will trigger for the second time, which will then trigger the column for loop once again for the 5 times. So basically we are doing the printf for 5 times 2, which is 10. And what we are doing here, we are printing 1 decimal, second decimal, third decimal. So it will be printing which row is it. So here it will be printing the row number. Here it will be printing the column number, and after the equal sign, so this is the part where it's being printed out. After the equal sign, another decimal is being printed out of this, which is a variable. And where did we define the a variable? This is this integer here, which contains two-dimensional array, so it has to contain both of these dimensions to put it as simply as I can. Since this is clear to me, I believe that this should be clear to all of you, because I really think that I'm kind of the weakest link in this stream. Correct me if that's inaccurate. When we are done with the first 5, we're going to print the second 5, and basically since we have a new line here, what is supposedly going to happen is we are going to print one line that says row 1, comma 1, or it will start with 0. Sorry, it will be 0, comma 0 equals 0. The second line will be 1, no, it's row, so it will be 0, comma 1 equals 1, and basically it will print out these 10. So let's see how that works out for us. Compile, multi-dimension fortress, no errors, a dot out. So what I said, 0, comma 0 equals 0, 0, comma 1, so the row and the column equals this, because this is there, and the fourth column in the first row equals number 4. Okay, I wanted to scroll up, but you know what we had written. Why is it counting numbers? Now I'm confused. I did something wrong, didn't I? No, I didn't. Sorry. I got myself confused because I didn't realize that we have numbers in a row. So if we change this to 99 and to, I don't know, 22, then compile it once again, and then the third row will simply show 22 and the last one will be 99. So I think that's pretty clear, because it's just printing out the values from the multidimensional array. So does this sound good to everyone? Looks good in logic. This is middle time of matrix. I have no clue what that means. XGUI4 and Iceblade, please answer the matrix questions to new guys who don't understand matrix. You will help me a lot if you explain it to them. Okay, so we got this output, and you can initialize with explicit indexes. Make a 3 by 3 identity matrix. Int a 3 by 3 equals 0, 0 equals 1, 1.1 equals 1. So these are the places that we are filling up, and the rest will be zeros. Is it clear why the rest is zeros? I mean, it's very clear to me. But do you all understand why are these ones and why are the rest zeros? Iceblade to me, yes. Okay. Zoran says it's logical. Good. Okay. So what comes after is arrays and pointers, and I feel like my brain is coming close to cooking, so we will save this for the next time. because my gut feeling tells me that this requires a little more of the concentration that I have remaining for today. Arlie agrees, and I have a fairly good feeling that everyone else will. Homie just subscribed. Yo, homie, thank you for subscribing. Who was in chat that asked about my background? And is that person still in the chat or not? It wasn't Arlie, it was something else with an A. Who knows? There is a lot of chat here. I don't know. I don't want to scroll up. If you're still in the chat and if you want to ask personal questions, be my guest. I will switch to the face cam. So that would be me. I am in a room which is still being built. So that's why it looks like that. I am in my village where we barely have electricity for now. But I'm streaming off of my phone as my internet connection. Iceblade says that Ideos Playfair asked, but if he's not here, then why would I answer his question? What I'm asking is for the person to re-identify himself or herself and ask again. I am happy to talk. If you guys don't have questions, we can stop the stream for today. I don't know. Maybe more people want to know. I don't know. There aren't any questions in chat. If my camera looks like shit, that is because this camera is shit. And if my lip sync is out of sync, that's because this iGPU in this Ultrabooks is also shit. So bear with me until I get home next week, and then I will stream with a better camera and with NVIDIA encoder, and it will be all good. But for now, I'm doing what I can do with the portable laptop that I have with me. Iceblade is asking, what do you really do at work? What do I do really at work? I do a little bit of system integration, and it's mostly about call centers for emergency services. So, for example, when you are badly hurt and when you cannot call your doctor, but instead you are calling emergency recovery. So basically you're calling ambulance to come fetch you in the middle of nowhere and transport you half broken to the hospital. You know what number is when you call them. So when you call them, a phone system will answer your call and will connect you to the doctor. And this phone system is what I program, install, maintain, watch over day and night. And this is the short version of it. It runs on Rocky Linux version 9. So that's like the gist of what I do as my day job. Audio sync is now good. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'm not complaining. If it's good, then it's good. If it's good, then it's good. Iceblade says, so you make sure the background works for call center trafficking. Yeah, yeah, I'm the guy behind the infrastructure for the telephony, which is based on the voice over IP protocol, and there are some Linux infrastructure underneath, and there are some voice recording. Actually, voice recording is on Debian, so I think that's as far as I'm allowed to talk, because this is all part of public information, what I told you so far. If you would go to Google the public documents of what exact equipment was purchased, you would find the same answers as I just told you. But I'm not sure if I can go to more technical details on how this is configured. This would probably enter some kind of company secret. But so far this was all public info, so all good, I think. Asterisk PBX, no, it's not asterisk. It is running on Linux, but it's not asterisk. Also, did you not have something to do with radio infrastructure as well? What do you mean radio infrastructure? What kind of radio infrastructure? Me personally, I'm not doing anything with radio. Like me. I mean, ambulance has radio communications, but that's not my job. You meant like Wi-Fi related? Yeah, I do something Wi-Fi related, but not too much. I used to do a lot of Wi-Fi and wireless networking. Actually, I talked about Wi-Fi and wireless in one of my videos where I explained about how Wi-Fi can see you literally walking around the room. In that video, I explained a lot of my wireless background, but that's not what I'm doing in the company where I'm employed right now. I do a little bit, but really a little, just a little bit. In my previous companies, I used to connect. How is the best way to explain this? Imagine you have a city and a large building, and then you have sea. Then you have sea that goes, the building is on the beach, and then there is sea, and then there is an island, and there is a very large antenna, like 50 meters. I mean the antenna pole, on a mountain on an island, and then you have a hospital on the island, and this hospital on the island needs communication link, and I used to install such peer-to-peer connected wireless infrastructure. This is not Wi-Fi. It is wireless, but not Wi-Fi as a standard. This is a dedicated link on a special frequency. Sometimes it's microwave link, sometimes it's lower frequency, but I used to install those to basically bring communications where optical cables had no chance to reach just yet. but a lot of those installations were earlier in the day. We have optical cables on the vast majority of the territory of my country now. So wireless links are mostly used for backups nowadays, not as a primary infrastructure. Zoran is asking, do I use 3CX, PBX? I use those on my current work, but not for the emergency recovery. They have something else proprietary, something with specific certificates that was required by the papers that we had to honor. Okay, so when you are basically the customer had expectations that we had to honor. Okay, so it couldn't be what we wanted, it had to be exactly what was required. Iceblade is asking, like, direct waveforms. I mean, it is a specific protocol of the specific equipment that I worked with. I'm talking about wireless now. Mostly it was Proxim equipment, and the wireless protocol was called WARP, not WARP like in Star Trek, but WORP. That was Proxim equipment, and there was something else, but this was like the most used equipment in my hands. It was quite fun when it lasted, but I didn't really appreciate climbing, to be honest, on the very high poles. Taburetka, do you know any other programming language, or C is your first language? As you can tell by my face, I am 45. I have been teaching myself BASIC on Commodore 64 and then on Amiga when I was really young. And then when I got PC, I had so many video games that I didn't really need to program. What I'm trying to say is that on Amiga, I always wanted more to do on that computer, and there wasn't that much. So I had to resort to doing something, hacking my Amiga computer, teaching myself programming, and that was BASIC. But then when PC came into my hands, I mostly just played video games. And then high school arrived, and in high school we have been taught Turbo Pascal, and unfortunately the lessons that we have been taught in high school in Turbo Pascal were easier than what I taught myself when I was younger. So basically, the first 2 classes in high school, I told my professor that this is way too easy and that I demand to be given something harder, something more challenging. And the professor was quite angry at my attitude in the first attempt. So he did his best to give me something really hard, and what he considered really hard was still easier than what I previously already knew. So I done that already. I'm not saying that I am big brain lumen or something. I'm saying that the high school material was too easy. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So I solved everything that he has given me, and when he realized what exactly my level is, um, he just told me, sorry, I have nothing else for you. And when the time came for the test, in my high school, tests were never announced. It was always unannounced as, hello, pupils, today we are having a test. Put everything under your desk and start writing. So it was always a blitz test. And the way that these tests would start was like this. Hello pupils, good day. Today we have a test. Put everything under your desk. I'm going to give every single each one of you a test on the paper, except for this lovely gentleman over here. He is free to go. I'm writing the highest score for his test result, and he's free to roam around the school until the next class. And that was the same until the end of high school. Teacher did eventually find out what my level is, but the problem was that my level was higher than anything that was in the books for the school. You know, the teaching material was too easy. But you must understand that this was earlier in the day when PC computers were not that well represented in schools just yet. So informatics classes, computer classes were still being developed, and it wasn't that. It's not that difficult to grasp that the material was easy. You know, later on, they pushed that high school material into elementary school, so it's a little bit better balanced nowadays. School material did not exist at higher level and you kept asking for more. Yeah. Honestly, I had fun for two reasons. One of the reasons why I had fun it was because everyone else in my class didn't understand shit in regards to programming. So all of these super duper students with had all of the highest grades in all of the everything else, they all came to me and told me, please help me understand these programming classes. This is all very difficult. And I was like, I mean, why not? I mean, I will help you. But really, I'm not saying that I was good. I'm just saying that the material was too easy. Okay, don't mistake me for someone who is presenting myself as something that I'm not. And then, you know, then life came and I got married with kids and stuff like that. And I forgot about video games and about computers and about programming. And I was focused on being a new father and stuff like that. So now I have free time to do hobbies. You know, now I am. You can see what level I am on, right? So this YouTube frame is confusing. Timer says 130 out of 2, but position is nowhere there. The rootlegs, can you please say that again? Timer says 130 out of 2, but position is nowhere there. On Twitch, right? Let me see on Twitch. 130. Ah, okay. I see. You're a mean person. Okay. No. I explained. I figured it out. I literally switched my screen to Twitch because Rudlex is speaking from Twitch. I thought that it is something Twitch related, but yeah. Darn delay. Is there a delay again? There isn't a delay, right? You're now faking. You're now faking it for me. Okie dokie. I think the stream buffering. I don't know. You guys are pulling my leg here, and I don't want to participate in this anymore. Just guide me into something that I'm good at, like answering questions maybe, or something along those lines. I don't know. What is the size of the camera anyway? Okay, now it's a little bit better. Here, I'm just gonna stand back a little bit so that you can see somewhat more of me, but it doesn't really matter that much. Like how you see 30 seconds behind live stream, but that's all. Okay. Good stuff. So the guy who actually asked the question has left and didn't have the decency to stay with us like everyone else. Okay, to each his own. For all of the new guys, if you can, please join the forum. I will place everything that I promised on the forum. I will upload the Git stuff as well. If you want. Is that Golga Katani? Yeah, bye Golga. For me, it's 9:38 in the evening. I'm probably going to grab a bite to eat of something and put myself to bed. In the morning, I need to drive at 8 o'clock. I already need to be in the car and I need to drive for 7 hours. So I should be going to bed really soon from now. But I don't mind talking a few more minutes if you feel like it. But if you guys are good to go, we can close it for today. It's all good. I was planning to finish closer to 10, but we are kind of done, right? I bet you're looking forward to that experience of getting up early and driving. I mean, it's fun. It's actually fun since I switched the car. I like it. I have a lot of buttons. I have some pretty navigation software, music, Spotify. I can talk to my car, not that I want to, but I can. I don't have to shift gears, so that's good. I don't have any gears, that's also good. It's actually interesting if you want to talk about transmission again. I don't know who that was on the live stream, but on one of the live streams, we kind of switched from LPIC to car transmission. And now it's kind of a topic in my head again, because I was learning about how the Toyota hybrid transmission works, and it's quite what is brilliant about this transmission is once you understand how it works, the brilliant thing is actually how simple it is. There is almost nothing in it. Rudlex is going off. See you. Yeah, I guess we're not going to go with the transmission again. We derailed from topic 45 minutes straight. Yeah, that part when we were talking about transmission, yeah. I might even make a separate video about data transmission. Not that anyone from the Linux community gives a shit about that, but I feel like it, you know. Guys, thank you very much for being with me or with us this evening or today, depending on which time zone. We are going to stop here. Toyota Renaissance, yes. And I'm going to go to bed and see you on the forum and on Matrix.